Greetings, dear one. In this video, I want to share with you a technique that I've used successfully when I lost things. And this technique involves speaking to your subconscious mind. Yes. So, there is this definition of the mind. There are many definitions of the mind out there. You can read Carl Gustav Jung, depending on how you want to pronounce it. To understand more about our mind, for the purpose of this video and what I usually do and what I usually use in my coaching program, I stick to this definition that the mind has three different parts: the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. The unconscious mind is responsible for body functions. The subconscious mind is responsible for storaging everything, past events and so on, and it's the place where we go in order to uncover everything. It's a huge, endless, immense, if you want to say, storage room or a memory box with unlimited memory. And the conscious mind is that filter that we use on a daily basis because we're bombarded with stimulus and stimuli from outside. There are, the theory on how many thoughts we have per second and how we perceive through our senses the reality that we live in. So you can imagine that the mind needs a filter. Otherwise, we'd probably walk like, oh, well, yeah, there's a lot of things going on. So this is what the conscious mind does. It's a filter. I use this technique when I lost a few things. Now, I usually am not the person to lose things. So you can imagine that when you lose something, probably you have been in this situation. Well, when I lose something, I freak out, I panic, and I'm so upset that, everything shuts down and you don't function anymore. So in my case, it happened that I lost, or let's say misplaced, my passport. And you can imagine what that means. I mean, you're about to leave for a different continent and you can't find your passport because, well, I came back from my vacation and I carried a photography kit with a large bag, and it so happened at the customs I probably took the passport back from the TSA operator and I put it in my photography kit. And I completely forgot it was there. So you can imagine a few months later, I had no idea where my passport was. So this is what I did. I did this technique. Now, the second time I used this, and then I'm going to share this method with you, it's super simple. And thank you for being here, by the way. The second time I used it was in the past when my boyfriend misplaced his passport. And well, he was supposed to leave to Europe. I used this same technique on me, communicating from my subconscious mind to his subconscious mind. Basically, as it's my understanding, it's one place where we can access all the information that we need. And guess what? I found his passport. The third situation when I used this technique was with my aunt. She is old, 75 years old, and one day I drove her to the doctors, to several other places, and one of these places was a supermarket where she actually took out her money and her ID was stuck to some credit card and it fell and she completely didn't pay attention and she couldn't find her ID. I went back to each and every single place where we had been and I couldn't find it. So I used this technique again. Have I made you curious yet? And the second day I went straight to where it was. So this is what you do. Let's say you lost something or you misplaced something. You go to bed, and when you're in bed about to fall asleep, you give a direction to your subconscious mind, which sounds like this: Dear subconscious mind, help me find my ID, or help me locate that person's ID or that person's key or that person's passport, what have you. And just totally go back to sleep. Don't worry about anything. Don't let the conscious mind interfere into this process, because at this point you communicate straight, you access straight your subconscious mind where everything exists, everything is stored, and it gives you the information, or basically you access the information in that place. Now, you leave this alone. Make sure you don't let the conscious mind interfere, and the following day just pay attention to what comes up to you. Like in my case, my first case where I misplaced my passport, it really came to me like just out of nowhere when I was doing something else. I believe I was cooking, and all of a sudden I remembered, oh yeah, it's like a memory. When you remember something, yeah, I should check my photography kit. And I went straight to it, and there it was in one of the side pockets. Now, with my boyfriend's passport a few years ago, it was the same thing. I gave a direction to the subconscious mind, help us locate the passport. I remember in that case, I also asked if the passport was in the house, and the answer was yes. So then we proceeded to the next step, and I asked the subconscious mind to direct me to where it was. I had some doubt. I had to redo the technique because my conscious mind interfered, and it was like, no, this is not gonna work. This is not your conscious mind, but the information is there. It took a few days to get to his passport, and again, I repeated the command. It's like a command that you give to your subconscious mind. In his case, it was a jacket, one of the pockets that he last traveled with, and he forgot the passport there. It's a command. Dear subconscious mind, show me where this ID is located. Take me there. Very simple command. Leave it alone, go to bed, don't worry. You, if you're good at this and if you're confident, you can even meditate. And in that meditation where you quiet the conscious mind, you can give this direction and just let it be and walk away, because it will give it to you. It will come back to you, that information. I hope this helps. I am curious if you've ever given commands to your subconscious mind. I know there are people out there who heal their body, who find things that are misplaced, who use these commands to learn new stuff, to explore, and so on. So I'm curious if you're one of them, or if you know somebody, come back and share with us, because yes, we are curious minds here. I'm super grateful that you're here. I see my channel is growing. I'm appreciative of that. And I'm happy to have you here in my community. Ciao for now.